What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another transfer talk later than usual. Apologies for that. It's been a hectic day. The headline news today that I'm going with anyway is that Santi Cazorla wants to return to Arsenal. Now, personally for me, Cazorla he's one of my favourite Arsenal players of all time, particularly in midfield. He's playing over there in Spain at the moment. Uh, Look, I don't think this transfer is realistic. There's no real, hard link here. It's just, Cazorla revealed today in an interview. He said, "It's a dream of mine to return to the Emirates as I never truly got to say goodbye. And I would love to return there and play alongside a good friend of mine, Mikel Arteta." I mean, I think he's probably past his best now, although he has been recalled in the Spanish squad. My big worry really would be, can Cazorla put up with the Premier League and, the physical aspects and the speed of the league at this stage of his career? I think he's probably built for La Liga now and not necessarily the ideal player to bring back, man. I mean, would you take Cazorla back at this stage? Or is it, a bit of a fairy tale for Arsenal to be linked with Cazorla? Let's see what else. So let me know. Would you take Santi Cazorla back at this stage, or is it too late? Big up everyone in the live chat at the moment. Ozzy Guna says Big C in the building. Respect. Sam Allardyce says, "My G, who you think can beat Liverpool?" I said a few weeks ago, I only see Man City away is the only game that I think Liverpool could possibly lose. I don't think they will lose. Possibly that game. Even tonight, you look. Against Wolves, 1-1. Wolves had chances. They've just got this thing. Van Dijk is a rock in defence. Al says Arsenal have the weirdest transfer link. So I don't think anybody really knows who we want to sign. GK says I think the crisis Arsenal are in. We are in a crisis. Giannis Middleton said, "How much would his wage cost? I don't mind having Cazorla back, especially if Ceballos leaves." Well, Giannis, you've led me into my next story. The reports today are that Dani Ceballos wants to end his loan at the club. With the Euros coming up this summer, he's scared that he may not get in the Spanish squad. He's not playing enough football. I actually thought Arteta would be very keen on Ceballos, ball playing midfielder, the Spanish connection. But he seems to love this Xhaka Torreira partnership in the 2 with Ozil in the 10. Can Ceballos play in the 10 role? Because I haven't seen a lot from Ozil. Maybe Ceballos could play there. Scott Hudson said, swap him, send Dani Ceballos back to Madrid, get Santi until the end of the season. Oh, mate, I would love to get him back. I'm just not sure if he's up for it anymore. Charlie Bravo, massive respect to you, Curtis. Keep up the good work, lad. Respect, man. Appreciate that. Kaif says, no Cazorla. People expect him to be as good as he was before his injury. Also, for his own health, the Premier League isn't good. I agree. The King says, Liverpool's 49th game is against Arsenal. Imagine Arsenal against Liverpool at the Emirates. Wow. That'll be unbelievable. They'll be playing us at the Emirates to break our record and get 50 games unbeaten. I wouldn't be too confident of beating Liverpool, that's for sure, unless we can turn things around this season quickly. Stan Kroenke says, get Cazorla back and keep Ceballos. Personally, I would not like to see Ceballos go. I think we do need to start playing him. I believe he'll start on Monday against Bournemouth in the FA Cup. I think Arteta will make a few changes. So I expect him to play. Malin Johnson says, loving Cazorla, but don't think we should sign him now. Would love to get Maddison, but probably won't happen. Keep up your work, Curtis. Greetings from Germany. Respect for all the support. Nevin, what happened with the watch-alongs on AFTV, Curtis? You're great on there. Yeah, the last couple games, I think, I'm not sure why they haven't done them, to be fair. And I think after the Bournemouth game, they're going to start doing them again for every away game, so we should be back doing that. Let's have a look. Ben says, big up Curtis, respect Ben, appreciate that. Roger Davis, hi Curtis, have you watched Pat Jennings' Why I Left Spurs? No, I haven't seen that, mate. I know you put that in a different video. No, I haven't seen that. Let me know if it's worth watching. Nachiket Walker says, we will beat Liverpool. It's a big prediction. I hope you're right. Gunnar Dread said, large up yourself, Curtis. Respect, man. I appreciate that, bro. Nimsy Lot said, oh, Santi Cazorla. That's fairy tale stuff, innit? I don't think Cazorla will really come back to Arsenal, but, you know. As Scott Hudson says, all sentiments aside over Santi, I'd really say getting a centre-back is more important for us, to be honest. Summer targets would be Upamecano and Max Aarons. Getting back to the transfer links, Arsenal are linked with a centre-back today. It's somebody that, you know, I'll be honest, I've hardly heard of. It's Mikola Matvienko. He's a 23-year-old centre-back. Plays in Ukraine for Shakhtar Donetsk. We're being linked with him. Apparently, Manchester City were linked with him when Arteta was there. He's a left-sided centre-back, can also play at left-back. Read a few things about him. Apparently, he's around 5'10", 5'11". Now, I'm not saying you can't be a very good defender if you're small, but I just wanted a real tall, commanding presence in there. And the 23-year-old liked to post. He was asked, Arsenal want to carry out the transaction to buy Matvienko by February the 1st. Do you want this transfer to be done? And the player liked the post. So, you know, he left a lot of speculation, although on Sky it was reported that Shakhtar want around £30 million for him in this window. And I don't expect Arsenal to spend £30 million in this window when they've said a number of times that they're looking for short-term or loan signings. So I wouldn't. I mean, Nimsy Lot says the Ukrainian centre back is quality. I can honestly say I haven't seen him play. I've only seen a few highlights of him since the links have come out. He looks decent, but YouTube makes most players look good. So, you know, Arsenal Forever says we are not signing anyone 100%. Oh, mate. Personally, I do think we'll sign one or two at the most on loan, but I'd probably say one. Abdi says, would you take Payet? 2 or 3 years ago, I bit your hand off. I think he's a brilliant player. He's still doing decent in France. I think not now. Mr. Ixa123 says, yes, Curtis, our number 9. How are you doing, my G? I'm good, bro. Just waiting for Arsenal to sign some players, man. Scott Hudson says, absolutely agree. We need a big, nasty B in defence. Not a small guy, but then again, we know nothing about the guy. Yeah, exactly. It's a tough one. He could be a real good signing if Man City were looking at him, but, you know, we'll have to wait and see. Ozzy Guna says, if we do sign this bloke, I don't think his height will be an issue, as Saliba is 6'3". Well, there you go. Next season, it's okay, really, if you got one that's bigger. Let's see what else you see. Raul Fulgos says, I'd pick up Cazorla myself. Go and get him from the airport, yeah. He was such a great player when we had him. Kaif says, how old is he? He's 23 apparently, so he's a good age. Links again, Barcelona for Aubameyang. Not the news we want to hear, of course. It's believed coming out of his family, Aubameyang, that Aubameyang would be keen on Barcelona. No surprise. Barcelona, of course, have lost Luis Suarez for 4 months with injury, and they're looking for a striker. They're looking at Martinez, the guy at Inter Milan, the Argentinian striker. But apparently Aubameyang is one of the players on the list. They want to get him on loan until the end of the season, with an option to buy him for 60 million in the summer. Now, there's no way Arsenal can afford to let Aubameyang go on loan. Aubameyang probably would be keen on going to Barcelona. It's something that, if he doesn't extend his contract, could be possible in the summer. But of course, you know, it's not possible for Arsenal to loan out Aubameyang. We're desperate to get in the Champions League and win the Europa League, so there's no way we're going to loan him out. You know, Barcelona are crazy sometimes with these deals. So Laura says, which Wolves player would you take to play for Arsenal? I like Jota. Is it the little winger? I think he's a good player. I like Ruben Neves in midfield. Who else? Adama Traore. I would take him as well. You know, he looks like he's improved a lot. Connor Cody's decent as well at centre back. That's probably it, really. Patricio's a good keeper, but, you know, I like Lena. Wolves are a good team, man. They were unlucky against Liverpool. Reese Lockett says, yo, Curtis, how you doing and how's your day, bro? Yeah, everything good, man. Hope you're all right. Thanks for tuning in. Big up everyone live in the chat. Everyone who watches it after, you let me know in the comments as well what you think. Terry Williams, I think if Cazorla wants to come back, we should let him. He was a great player for us. We just need to make sure he don't end up injured. But that's just my opinion. Curtis Pepe Shaw. Well, I don't mind that. I rate Pepe highly. Speaking of Pepe, Robin van Persie was talking about Arsenal today in an interview. Van Persie was complimentary of Pepe as well. He said that he thinks Pepe and Martinelli are great players for the future. And here's what he had to say. Van Persie said he revealed his love on BT Sport for Martinelli and Nicolas Pepe. He said, Martinelli I really like. I like Pepe as well. Pepe had a big moment against Manchester United. Hopefully he can kick on. He said, if you look at Pepe and Martinelli, they are both fantastic players. And I've said a few times that I think Pepe will come good at Arsenal. I think he needs coaching. He looks a bit naive, but I think Arteta will get the best out of him. It may take a year. Abdi said, would you take Dembele for Aubameyang in a swap? I think at the end of the season, if Aubameyang made it clear he wanted to leave, with a year left on his contract, I would take Osman Dembele. The only thing that worries me is the injuries he's had. Desi Paris said, you should do a call-in show. You know what? A few people have said that. I'm going to have to look into this, how you do it all, and, you know, is it best to do it on Skype, or do you get an actual phone number? I'll look into it. It's something I'll look at. Reese Lockett says, can't believe Mustafi is still at our club. It's like a bad smell, mate. We can't get him out. The King says, we should have Tierney, Upamecano, Saliba, Bellerin as our back four. The board should give Arteta the funds. I think Upamecano, especially if we get in the Champions League, there's a good chance of us getting him in the summer. I think right now it would be difficult. The guy who made the world smile, R10, what a great name that is. And R10, I'm assuming you're talking about Ronaldinho. One of the greatest players I've ever seen, says Curtis, I have huge respect for your honesty. You are the first YouTuber who is that enjoyable that I needed to create an account in order to pay you some respect. Wow, that's huge praise, man. I appreciate that, man. Really appreciate that. Shane Allen said, I would take Jimenez and Neto and Neves, actually, all of them. Neves and Neto and Jimenez, I'm not sure. Neves, definitely. As I said, Adama Traore as well, and Jota. Nikos Dimitru says, Upamecano, Pereira and Maddison for the summer. A lot of money, mate. I think Maddison would cost 70 or 80 million. I don't see Arsenal going for him. Pereira, I reckon 30, 40 million. Very good right back. Upamecano, I think, as I said, I think we could get him in the summer. Mr. Ixa123, are we going to get beaten to Upamecano? I think, you know, he was linked with Barcelona. If they want him, we ain't going to get him. But you never know. Maybe Raul Sanelli can do something. Marco Souza says, Curtis, what do you think about Jack Grealish as an Ozil replacement? Yeah, I've said a few times I would definitely sign Jack Grealish now or in the summer. Rate him highly. Kaif says, not Maddison, go for Ziyech. Well, he'd definitely be cheaper, and I do rate him highly. What sort of price would you put on Martinelli to ward off poaching teams such as Barcelona or Madrid? That's from Troy Jarvis. Ask for crazy money, 100 million, you know. I don't think any club would pay 100 million for him at this stage. What I would say, the news that's coming out is apparently Arsenal are looking to extend Martinelli's contract. He's on £10,000 a week. Being, as you know, he came from the lower leagues in Brazil. He was on probably, you know, hardly, you know, wasn't big money over there. So 10 grand was probably a good deal. Apparently we're going to offer him 30,000 a week. So treble his wages and extend his contract. I would be giving him a 6 or 7 year contract, honestly. So Laura says, who you think has a higher ceiling, Dembele or Nicolas Pepe? A year ago, this would have been easy. I would have said Dembele. But the injury problems and the fact he's getting muscular injuries as well, you know, it's worrying. Is his body actually starting to struggle? So I'm going to back our boy Pepe, man. I'm backing him. I think Pepe is going to come good at Arsenal. I don't think we'll necessarily see the best of him till the end of this season, the start of next season, but I think he will get better as the season goes on. Ben says Pepe or Martial. That's difficult. That is hard because I really do rate Martial, but he flatters to deceive. I think Martial's ability is higher than what he produces. It's a tough one, man. I like Pepe's attitude. I think he wants to learn. I think he's open-minded about the Premier League. I'm going to back Pepe. I'm not saying he's better than Martial, but I think for what we need, I think he'll get there. I think Martial is just relying on his talent. His attitude's not great as well. I don't really like his body language. Giannis Middleton says Martinelli deserves a statue. Let's rein it in a bit. But what a goal! You put Kante flat on his face. Azum said, "Love your streams. Big up, man. I appreciate that." Michael Connor says Dembele has a swap with Aubameyang as a loan till the end of the season. I think till the end of the season we need Aubameyang. In the summer, if he wanted to leave, then that's something we could look at. King Chaos, would you take Thomas Lemar now? On loan, definitely. Permanent deal, I wouldn't be so sure. GK, whatever Guendouzi is on, Martinelli deserves that. Yeah, definitely. I think he's the best. I think he's the best young player at the club, to be honest. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Mr. Adlib23 says Ian Wright needs a statue, and what a brilliant comment that is, because I've said this a few times. Ian Wright should definitely have a statue at Arsenal. He's a legend. He was the top goal scorer of all time till Henry, went beyond that. So I don't see why Wright he hasn't got a statue. Everyone's gassed about transfers. We're not getting anyone till Dangote takes over. That's Marco Souza. We can't help but get excited, but the reality is we're not going to do much. GK says getting overhyped off Martinelli. I think the fan base went a bit mad, but let's enjoy ourselves. Don't worry. Abdi says your streams always make me happy. Keep it up, brother. Oh, I appreciate that, man. That's the whole point. Uplift people. Let's see what else was in the transfers. What were we looking at? So the young centre back, the Arsenal. Also, again, young Falarin Balogun, 18-year-old young player being linked with a move potentially to AC Milan for 5 million. Kalanoglu at AC Milan being linked with Arsenal again. Apparently, Milan are very open to letting him go. Left winger, I don't know about him, to be honest. And also Ryan Fraser being linked with West Ham. Arsenal were apparently looking to take him on a free transfer at the end of the season. I think that was an old link, really. And back to Kalanoglu. A few years ago he was rated highly. He was a set-piece specialist. But I'm not sure he's really what we need now. Bad Boy says Curtis is straight talking. Yeah, no question, bro. Say it how it is. Yardman in as fitness coach says Marco Sousa. I'm sure he'd get him fit, man. Hakan is another Payet to me. I think Payet's better than him, but I want quick wingers, man. Jack Merry says, why in the hell are we talking of transfers other than proper centre-backs, at least one or two? We should only talk about centre-backs first. Keep up the excellent work. Huge respect from Romania. Respect, appreciate that. Yeah, again, we all know we need centre-backs, but this is typical Arsenal. We need a centre-back. We'll probably go and buy a winger or a striker. Kaifa says, Reece Nelson is underrated. I'm not sure. I think he's got talent, but I haven't seen anything from him at the moment to suggest that, is he really at the level we need? The people were comparing him to Jadon Sancho, saying at youth team level he was actually better than Sancho. And you look at the level he's at now, he's probably an 80, 90, 100 million pound winger. I think Nelson's got a long way to go. To me, he needs to get stronger. Nimsy Lot says Adama Traore is a beast. He's improved a lot, man. He really has improved. I didn't really rate him that much he was at Aston Villa and Middlesbrough. I just thought he was quick with no end product, but he's got a lot better. Giannis Middleton, Curtis, you should come to Dubai with AFTV if they come. Yeah, they've been over a couple of times. I have to get the Don Robbie man to pay for that trip. Get me over there. Nikos says Man United paid 145 million for Maguire and Bissaka. For the time being, they've conceded 5 goals less than us. Yeah. Although I think Wan-Bissaka's okay, nothing special. He's all right. Maguire, I think they paid way too much money for. He's bang average in my opinion. But that's what you get sometimes with the Premier League. There's a premium. Also being English as well. I honestly don't think he's that great. Highbury says we need Ozil replacement more than anything. The thing is, we can't get rid of him. So if you can't get rid of him, you can't replace him. The club aren't going to bring in an attacking midfielder and still have Ozil on the books. It just doesn't work like that, unfortunately. Let's have a look. Adama Traore is worth 70 or 80 million, says Stan Kroenke. In this crazy modern market, possibly. I don't think he is worth that much, but he's just so fast. His change of pace is unreal. I would, I would say he's probably the quickest player in the Premier League. I haven't seen anybody as quick as him, and I watched him live this season, and he gave Tierney problems, mate. He's not worth 70 million, but that's probably what he'd go for in this crazy window. The Saint says Maguire is quality. I think he's average, mate. He's decent in the air. He's slow. I'm not sure. I think he's average. AB, did you see the Man United game? Yes, I did, and that cheered me up. What a goal from Rodriguez, by the way, left foot. So Laura says, up on Meccano or Titty. I'll go up on Meccano. I think Titty's got injury problems, man. It worries me. Up on Meccano, younger, the French young partnership with Saliba, I'd like that. I would take Titty though, but do you think we will do a sign in this window? Says Azum. I think we'll get one, possibly two, but I'll go for one. I think we'll get one at the end of towards the end of the window in the next week or two. What do you think about signing their striker from Wolves? Is it Raul Jimenez? Yeah, at the moment we don't need a striker. Of course, if Aubameyang or Lacazette go, then yeah. But at the moment, I wouldn't. Terry Williams. It was on an episode of Blood Brothers when you scored against DT. Who do you think will join us in the summer, not including players out on loan? It's really difficult because it depends if we win the Europa League. I think if we win the Europa League, we'll sign big players. But if we don't and we're in the Europa League or maybe not even in Europe, then it will all go downhill. I think they'll target Upamecano. They'll target a box-to-box midfielder with power. I think we need another winger. I think we need at least one full-back, a right-back, maybe a left-back as well. So that's where I think we'll be looking. Bruno Guimaraes, big up Kareem Biggs, man. He just reminded me about him in the comments. It's looking like he could go to Lyon. He's being linked with Lyon and also Atletico Madrid now. It looks like Arsenal are backing out of the race for that. And, because of the money, they want most of the money up front. And Arsenal just don't want to spend no money. They want loans, and Arsenal typically tight as ever. Don Juan says Curtis should sign for DTFC, AFTV or a joke team. Listen, we're on the combat, man. DTFC, I'm not signing for them. I'm signing a new contract, man. AFTV, it's the rebirth, the comeback. We're coming back next season. Don't worry. We need to raid South America, says Nimsy. Lot of unearthed talent over there, man. And with Edu, I'd love to see us tapping into that market. You see Martinelli, how good he's been. Crypto Knowledge Alliance, big respect, Curtis. Keep up the hustle, bro. Dedication plus hard work pays off. Yeah, I appreciate that. You're spot on. Dedication, hard work, put the time in. Anything can happen. Curtis Allen says, will Liverpool go unbeaten? Unfortunately, at this stage, I think they will do. I obviously hope that they lose a game. I don't mind them winning the league. I think Klopp is a brilliant manager. And to be honest, they're head and shoulders above every team in the league. But just get that one defeat. It would be nice if Arsenal gave it to them, actually. Bad Boy says AFTVFC had one bad day. Yeah, it was a really bad day. But don't worry, man. We'll come back. Marco Souza, why hasn't Balogun got a game yet? I don't know, because I've seen this kid a few times and he looks a real talent. Potentially better than Nketiah in my eyes. Let's look. Eman 300 says Dunk or Maguire. I think Dunk is better. It's a tough one because Maguire did look good when he played for Leicester, so sometimes it's hard to tell until you go to the bigger club how good you are. Giannis Middleton, Curtis, don't you think scouting gems would be better than these BS big agents we work with? A mix and match, maybe. It's very interesting you said that because this is why Arsenal appointed Sven Mislintat to unearth gems around world football. They then appointed Sanelli, and Sanelli had the total opposite approach of that. He wanted to work with the big agents to get people with big reputations and get big names in. But the thing is, we haven't got money to get the real big names in. We're signing washed up big names like David Luiz, like Socrates, these kind of players. So I think Mislintat, I think we made a mistake letting him go, although people say he was very sloppy on a day-to-day basis in terms of turning up late and wearing the wrong like attire and stuff like that. So it's one of them, but he had a big reputation. Um, Desi Paris 3 said Arsenal's starting front four should be Martinelli, Aubameyang, and Pepe, and play Lacazette in 10. And I agree with you. I've said this a number of times. Why have they never played Lacazette behind Aubameyang instead of Ozil? Let's have a look. Don Juan says Canate is better than Upamecano. Arsenal love second best. A few people have said this. I haven't really seen Canate play, but a few people have said that he's better than Upamecano. Lumbercamp, do you think Arsenal would buy Santi back? I don't. I think with his age, his injury record, his fairy tale stuff, I don't think they'll buy him. Reece Lockett, can't give up on our young players fast. Look what happened with Gnabry and Rene Adelaide. Yeah, man, Gnabry is probably worth 50 or 60 million now. We missed out big time not keeping him, not developing him. Crypto Knowledge Alliance, personally, I think it's combining the right scouting network with the man who can handle the high agents, e.g. Pepe and Martinelli. Two different but two very exciting signings. Make a good point there. Alvar says people say Canate is better because he's high rated on FIFA. It's amazing how many people take FIFA as gospel, but yeah, I'm not sure who is the better one. Jack Bolt, what do you think of Adama Traore? Absolute speed merchant. Speaking of FIFA, he must be 99 pace, but he's strong, he's aggressive, he's putting good crosses in now and good shots. Wouldn't surprise me if he goes for a lot of money in the summer. Kizoro Borsalino said Ceballos deserves a chance in my opinion. Ozil has been poor for a while. I would definitely give Ceballos a chance. There's talk of him today trying to end his loan spell and go to Valencia on loan because he feels he's not playing enough football to get into the Spanish squad this summer. Reece Lockett, do you rate Memphis Depay and would you take him at Arsenal? Memphis Depay, number one, I think he would cost a lot of money because their chairman is notorious. Number two, I believe Depay has had a big injury. So at the moment, I would say no. I wouldn't be looking at that. THC of UYO says, big up Carnu Curtis, love from another number 9. Yo, Carnu. I like to think I'm a bit quicker than him, but I don't mind his skill. Carnu was a legend at Arsenal. Respect for that comment. Let's have a look. Yeah, Depay is out for the season, Janice said. Kaif said, Canate less injury prone. GK, the club needs to stop overspending the bank on unfinished talents. Well, this is the problem. When you don't have, big money to spend, you have to look for bargains, unfortunately. And at the moment, we haven't got big money, which is a whole other subject about Kroenke. Don't get me started on him because he should have gone a long time ago. Santi Xmas Day. I'm sorry, people. Oh, mate, I would love to get him in. What a player. Super chat just to support, bro. Enjoy the beer on me. Crypto Knowledge Alliance. Oh, yeah, I appreciate that, bro, man. Thanks. All the best as well, man. I appreciate everyone's support. Big up all the super chats. Anyone who does invest through super chat, that will go back into the channel, getting new equipment, upgrading. So I appreciate that. But you don't have to do that. Anybody who just comments, that's what it's all about, interaction. Macro Russell says Jack Grealish for Ozil, 100% every day of the week. I think especially if Villa go down, Grealish may be cheaper. Nikos Dimitri, would you take Marco Reus? Number one, I don't think Reus would leave. Very good player. Reus, he's had a lot of injuries, and I would say no. I think we should look elsewhere. Janice Middleton says no super chat in Dubai. No problem, man. Don't worry, man. I just appreciate the comments. Jamie Burns says James Maddison for Ozil. Yeah, I would do that. But I think Maddison would cost 20 or 30 million more. Eman 300 agrees, says would rather have Maddison, to be fair. Fair opinion, he's a very good player. Marco Souza, would you take Modric on a free in the summer? Yeah, he's out of contract. I actually want to do a video on players that will be available on a free in the summer and if you would take any of them. Modric. Yeah, I would. I would take him for a year. Um, Solaris, Madison or Grealish? If I had to choose between the two, I'd go for Grealish. I think he's more of a leader. I think he's stronger. I think he's better on the ball in terms of dribbling. He can play centre midfield, attacking midfield, off the wing. I think he's a bit more versatile. I like Grealish, but I do rate Madison. Um, let's have a look. Have you heard of Youssef Attal? No, I haven't. That's from Janice. Joan Vincent says bring Santi back. Kaif says go for Havertz. Very good player. Apparently he's got 100 million release clause, is it? Don Juan, Curtis, you and Turkish need to start a new Kroenke out movement. Do you know what? I'd be more than willing to do that. Big up Turkish, man. I know he tried that in the summer. Didn't really get the support. I think because Arsenal had spent a bit of money, the fans didn't really see them as a problem, but they're definitely still a problem, and they need to go. I've said many times, where could this club be with big owners? It's amazing to think. GK, I'm tired of number 10s, want to avoid the Madisons, Havertz, etc. Yeah, we could go for three out and out centre mids like Liverpool, and just, go for pure work and a bit more power. I think we lack pace and power in the midfield. Madabi Ruben says Madison is more versatile. He makes a lot of interceptions and presses off the ball. Grealish is a bigger goal threat though. Is Madison more versatile than Grealish? I don't know. I personally think Grealish, but it's all opinions. I would, to be honest, I'd be happy with either one of them. Interesting question here. Azum said, "Do you rate Xhaka?" I would still sell him in the summer, if I'm honest. I think he's improved under Arteta. I just don't think he's the answer long term. You get good performances out of him, but he makes mistakes and he's not consistent. You don't get 4 or 5 good games in a row out of him, so I would still get rid of him in the summer. Would you prefer Grealish and play with a 10 or Samare at Lille and play with 3 midfielders? That Samari looks good. He reminds me of Pogba. Ideally, I would like both if I'm being greedy. Can you imagine like Samore, Torreira, and Grealish? That would be a great midfield. You got energy, you got power. Jamie Burns said exactly what I was saying, Curtis. Xhaka improved, but get rid. Yeah, he's been at the club too long. I haven't seen enough from him. Don Juan, Curtis, Robbie, would he ever support a Kroenke out movement? I think he shares the fans' frustration that he's not doing enough. Whether he'd really get behind it, I'm not sure. Maybe if he believed in it, it would be interesting to ask him. I am going to get Robbie on my channel soon, actually, for an interview. Anyone who hasn't seen, check out the interview I did with Arsenal legend Kevin Campbell. Uploaded that yesterday. Brilliant interview with him. Real honour to have him on the show. And of course, had Claude back on as well. I think that's the 3rd or 4th time he's been on. Big up Claude as well. Desi Paris 3 said, I like Vidal. He's strong, fast, tackle, assist, and score goals. Vidal at Barcelona, right? Good player. I think he's a bit past his best now. Janice Middleton. Robbie is such a nice guy. He's a top man. Madibi Ruben, if Saliba develops properly, he'll be a very smooth centre back. Yeah. Looks the part. Let's hope he can, deal with the Premier League. He's still young as well, which makes why I think it's important. He's got a very good centre back next to him to bring him in. Nikos Dimitru, do you rate Thomas Partey and would you replace Xhaka with him? 100%. Powerful, strong, good on the ball. Good age as well. Apparently keen on playing on the Premier League. Thomas Partey's got a 45 million release clause. For me, I would definitely look at him. John B says, Curtis, I don't rate Ceballos. I do and I don't. I think he's talented. I think he's very good on the ball. I think he dilly-dallies a little bit. He takes risks, which is why I'm thinking, do you play him higher up the pitch where you can afford to take chances? I think he'll play on Monday against Bournemouth. If he doesn't play, then surely he's going. Kaif says, I rate Ceballos. So, yeah, I'm split. I think he's talented. I don't think we've seen enough from him yet. Janice Middleton says, Bruno Fernandes, what do you think? what I've been hearing today, whether this is true, is that Liverpool want him in the summer, and this is why they're delaying the Manchester United move. Whether this is true or not, but I would expect United to get it done. They know they need to get that deal done. THC of UHO says, apart from Aubameyang and Martinelli, the rest of our front guys lack and hate the idea of end product. Should have kept Iwobi then. Well, I know what you're saying because Lacazette isn't shooting enough. Pepe isn't shooting enough. There's not enough end product. Iwobi, I think, was great business to sell him for 35 million. I personally didn't think he was very good. And, you know, it's going to take time. Martinelli on the left, so we've upgraded Iwobi in that sense. And Pepe, I do believe, will come good, but he has to score more goals. Merritt Daniel, Robbie's not an Arsenal fan, he is a fan of Kroenke. Yeah, listen, Robbie's 100% an Arsenal fan, man, no question about that. Akpub Benny says, sorry, I hope I haven't pronounced that wrong. He says, Curtis, why would we let Ceballos leave when Ozil isn't cutting it? Well, quite simply, we can't get rid of Ozil, and that is the problem. So they probably find it hard to get Ceballos in, but I think he needs more game time. Crypto Knowledge Alliance says we ain't seen enough of Ceballos to rate really. I think he's technically very good, and Ben actually says Ceballos is technically good but lacks athleticism. I think he just needs time. I still think he's a decent player. Roger Davis, big up Roger, says, please watch Pat Jennings why I left Spurs. I never missed an Arsenal game once. He came. Yeah, you know, you've said about this Pat Jennings. I'll have a look, see what it's like. Anthony Williams says, man like Curtis, what's going on, bro? Everything good, man. Hope you're good. Appreciate you tuning in and supporting. King Chaos says Ceballos is too slow. I think is it a pace thing? I think he just needs to move the ball quicker and don't dilly-dally. Try and just, we need end product. And I'm interested. I hope he plays on Monday. I personally don't want to see Ceballos go back. We've loaned him for the season, so keep him. Marco Souza says, 2011, Alex Song walks into this current Arsenal team. I agree. That was a very good player. M. Samboy says, Lacazette is a shorter version of Giroud, but at least Giroud was big and strong, could head the ball. Without Aubameyang, teams push into us due to the lack of pace. Average player. Ooh, stinging assessment of Lacazette. Lacazette is, do you know what? I was so excited when we got Lacazette. I honestly thought this guy was going to score goals left, right, and centre. I'd seen him play a number of times for Lyon. We'd been linked with him for a couple of seasons. And he just doesn't play the same game now. Is it a case of the service to him isn't good enough, or is he just genuinely struggling with the Premier League and having to play a different game? He doesn't shoot enough. He has to shoot more. I do think he's a good footballer. His link-up play, his touch, the way he wins his headers, his work rate. But when he leads the line by himself, there's not enough goal to it. As I said, 14 goals the first season, 13 the second, and I think 5 or 6 this year in terms of Premier League goals, and 7 away goals, as Lumberkamp just said there. He said 7 away goals should have gone for Vardy. Well, we did go for Vardy, didn't we? But unfortunately, he turned us down. So it didn't work. Let's have a look. Desi Paris says, Lacazette is a killer. We just need a number 10 to support the strikes. I do agree the service to our front line is terrible. GK said Ozil is past it. He's not creating anymore. No, I think I agree with you. I think he's past it. Ben says, I think it's an athleticism problem with Ceballos. The Vittoria game summed it up when he lost the ball and got injured. The pace of the Premier League, it's not for everyone, man. It's unforgiving. Nikos Dimitri, we must sell El Neni, Mkhitaryan, and Mustafi. I cannot believe they're Arsenal players. Terrible recruitment in the past. We shouldn't have even signed these players. Kaif says Lacazette was world class with Fekir behind him. I have to admit, them two had a brilliant partnership. But this is the French league, and now this is the Premier League. 2 totally different animals, Fekir, people were saying, was one of the best 10s in the world. He was going to end up at a big club. He ended up, no disrespect, at Real Betis. So, that French league is not always easy. And I've seen Neymar doing ridiculous tricks in there, man. Like it's not the best of leagues to compare to the Premier League. Ceballos' best position would be deep line playmaker next to Torreira. Torreira and Xhaka seem to be our best two in midfield, so I just can't see him getting into the team. That's from Anthony Williams. Big up for that. Yeah, he seems to love this partnership of Xhaka and Torreira. The King says get the pie from Leon, link up with Lacazette. I think the pie's out injured long term, so I don't see us signing him. Betis got Fekir for 20 million. Unbelievable. He had this long term knee injury, which is why Arsenal didn't go for him apparently, and why Liverpool backed out at the last minute. Let's get Ozil back to his best before leaving. I just don't think he can. His best was years ago. At Real Madrid, and at the start when he came to Arsenal, he was quicker. He was, more agile. Torreira is the new Kante under Arteta. He's not as good as Kante, but he's good. He's in a similar role. Andy T says we need to replace Ozil with an 8 and go 4-3-3. Yeah, I would have no problem with that. Don Juan Curtis, does AFTV Scully need to get the sack? Nah, man. Scully's good, man. We just need to improve the side, and we'll be back stronger next season. Ozil had 3 league assists in 2 years. Says it all. That comment's from Ben. That says it all, man. 3 in 2 years. It's not good enough. Marco Russell, get Lamar on loan, play him in the 10. You know what? I think he can play in that role as well. Would you take Eriksen for free in the summer? That's from Wiz All New TV. From what I hear, he's on his way to Inter Milan, although it's saying on Sky Sports that Barcelona are looking at him, so I don't see us getting Eriksen. I would take him, but again, a 10, is that what we want? Saf says, Curtis, who's your top 3 players of all time? Wow, that is a tough question. My favourite player of all time is Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo, R9. That is my favourite. My second favourite is Thierry Henry, the best Arsenal player of all time, in my opinion, best Premier League player of all time. My third is Ronaldinho. I'd say the most entertaining, the most talented footballer I've ever seen. I used to run home from football to watch this guy play for Barca, and so I go R9 Ronaldo, Thierry Henry, and Ronaldinho. It's hard for me to leave out Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, but I prefer the old school players, man. So have a look. Aubameyang to Barca, how do you feel? I think if they still want him in the summer, he'll leave. But hopefully, he turns 31 in the summer, he'll run off. They'll run off from that one. Stephen OT says Rivaldo. Oh, mate, one of the best left-footed players I've ever seen. But he doesn't get in my top 3, I have to be honest. Celtic have burnt out Kieran Tierney. I'm a Rangers fan, but have interest in Arsenal, and I know that. That's from John B. So Celtic burnt him out. They overplayed him because it's amazing. He's at a good age and he's just getting injured all the time. Janice Middleton says Romario. Oh, mate, as a striker growing up, I used to love watching him play for Barcelona. I often did like a toe poke finish as well. We even made it look good. The King says Roberto Carlos, one of the best left backs of all time. Masterson 22. My favourite was George Weah during his last season at PSG and first season at AC Milan. I used to love AC Milan. Back in the day, I used to watch Italian football Saturday morning on Channel 4. George Weah at AC Milan, when he scored that goal, ran from his own half. What a player. King Chaos says Kaka. Oh, what a player. Remember that goal at Old Trafford when he flicked it over, was it Wes Brown? Last of them says Barty Stuter. What a striker. Remember his goal at Wembley against Arsenal. Aguero says THC of UYO, one of the best Premier League strikers of all time. Scorpius9 says Zidane is the GOAT. Can't argue with that. Ben said, is Robinho the most wasted talent ever? He's up there. He was certainly a top player. Eriksen to Inter is done, says Azum. Don Juan says Diego Maradona. My dad says all the time that Maradona is the best player. John B says Ronaldinho by a mile. I think the most talented, definitely. Didn't have the longevity of the other ones. He was a party animal, but in terms of talent, I don't think there's a better player ever. Adriano, bigger waist. Wow, Giannis Middleton, what a play you've called there. I remember Zlatan saying he was one of the best players he'd ever seen. Anyone who used to play Pro Evolution Soccer when you was a kid. Adriano, 99 shot power on his left foot. Oh my days, it was like a cheat. You could shoot from anywhere. He was an incredible footballer. What a waste, yeah. Who's the most wasted talent? Adriano, Balotelli, Robinho, Riquelme. A lot of players who were brilliant. Oh, GK Adriano was broken in pairs. Oh my days, unbelievable. Um, who else? Come on, Curtis, you're just being nice. There's a reason why France don't pick Lacazette. He's a limited player. He doesn't even get into dangerous positions. Martinelli is outshining him. But then I think Giroud gets picked for the hold up, for the big man hold up play. Lacazette doesn't really work with Griezmann. Mario Balotelli is the most wasted, says Keegan J. King Chaos, didn't Adriano become a gangster? I think he actually did. No joke. I've seen pictures of him with guns and everything. Femi Aremo said Adriano wasted his talent. Afdelin skills, I miss Sante. THC of UYO, no, Riquelme was a bad boy. Oh my days, incredible player. Quaresma was better than Ronaldo when they both played in Sporting, says Alvar. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that a few times that he was the bigger talent when they were younger. But Ronaldo, Cristiano, he took his game to a whole new level. Who else we saying here? Yeah, that's it really. Celtas, he'll play Cazorla at 10. It'd be interesting, could he play that? Did Broads and DT squash their beef? I don't think it was ever real beef. They just clash on the pitch. I think off their pitch they're cool. The King said Arsenal 2 up front, Aubameyang and Lacazette, Martinelli and Pepe in the wings. What do you think? Worth a try, 4-4-2. Go back to basics, man. Just play Xhaka and Torreira in midfield in a 2. Could work. Wilshire says Crypto Knowledge Alliance, very big waste. Riquelme is a proper player but wasted at Villarreal, says Teslim Babs 81. I hope I pronounced that right. Jonathan Tarr says big sneak. A lot of people said that. Abdi, would you take Perisic? I think we tried to sign him last January actually. Is he at Bayern Munich now, I think, on loan, so it'll be difficult to get him. Masterson 2020 DC, Kroenke giving Arteta money this window. Not a lot of money, that's for certain. Aymar was a baller. Giannis Middleton. Wow, some of the players you're naming. Aymar was brilliant, man. Little Argentinian midfielder. I think he was at Valencia, was he? I always remember him on Football Manager, man. Brilliant. John B said Lichtsteiner I'd sign, yeah, maybe to sweep the stadium or something. Mr. J4J says Mario Götze. You're naming some good players here, man. A lot of wasted talent. Who do you think is the biggest wasted talent? We're saying Balotelli, Robinho, Adriano, Aymar, Riquelme, naming it, Mario Götze, Shamak. Oh dear. Would you take Coutinho to replace Ozil at 100%? But I don't see us getting him. Apparently Bayern Munich saying now they won't sign him on a permanent. James Rodriguez, Stan Collymore, what a player he was, by the way. Curtis, do you think we sold Gabriel Paulista too early? I actually think he was better than some of the defenders we kept. Eduardo, Adel Tarapt, Walcott. Wow, you're naming some players here, man. Collymore. Curtis, you should do a Football Manager stream. Do you know what? I play Football Manager a lot. If people would be interested in that, I'll do it. I feel we shouldn't have sold Iwobi. Pato, wow, what a player he was. Oscar, yeah, he went to China for the money early. Ravel Morrison, Adel Tarapt. Yeah, you're naming some players here, man. Curtis, I love your show. A Martinelli goal celebration the other night is a bad man thing. Love it. Yeah, I loved it, man. The arrogance. 18 years old. Ravel Morrison again. Bojan as well. Fellaini. I think Fellaini fulfilled his head it, kick it, and elbow. Pato being named again. You know, brilliant player. Again, Football Manager, legend, man. So much pace. Yo, do Football Manager series. People watch that. Yeah, you know, if people are interested in Football Manager watch-alongs, I'll do it. Yeah, Curtis in says Reese Lockett. Make a Twitch channel, stream FIFA 20 or Football Manager. Yeah, I haven't played FIFA as much this year. It's too much pay to win, man. You have to just spend loads of money on packs, don't you? And just takes away from the grind. Reese Lockett, Football Manager 2020, Curtis in. Right, that's it for today. Appreciate everyone in the live stream. I'll be back again tomorrow. Let me just read out the super chat before I go. Come on, where's it gone? It's disappeared. Where did that go? Oh, the comments are going in too fast, mate. I missed it. Sorry. Oh, there you go. Curtis, do you think there is some untapped talents in the Championship League we should look at carefully? That's from Sheets of Metal. There's always good players in the Championship. You see Grealish was in the Championship last year. So there's always players worth looking. Big up everyone who was in the live chat. Appreciate everyone's comments. We'll look at doing some other things, maybe Football Manager, FIFA. Might do a question and answer tomorrow as well. Everyone take care, have a good night. Everyone watching after, let me know in the comments down below, would you take Santi Cazorla back at Arsenal? And I'll be back tomorrow. Bless.